Okay, so this video is going to be a little different. This is going to be the first episode of Team Strats. Basically same as Pugstrats, but obviously if you've got a team, full 5 people. So I'm going to go through this one role at a time, what each person's going to do for the strat. It's going to be a B take with molotovs, but it's going to start out, obviously, I'm going to do the full round instead of what I normally do where I just show the execute. So first guy is going to be the guy with the AWP, or if he doesn't have an AWP with a rifle. You don't need an AWP for this, just if you do have an AWPer, this is the one that's going to do this. So he's going to come here and hold here. This is all he's going to do for a bit, just going to hold this angle, see if anyone comes. You can listen to mid behind him, and when he gets like the signal from his team that we're about to do the B execute, he'll run down here and join his team at B. So for now, this is all he's going to do, don't worry about what else. So your second and third players going to both have rifles, obviously you'll have AKs, but it doesn't really matter. Both going to come down here and throw these two mid smokes. I've showed this before in other videos, but basically one player stands into here and aims here. So you stand against the wall and you aim like sort of, you find this panel right here, you aim like halfway and a little bit left. Other guy does the opposite on this side, he finds this panel and aims a little bit right of the middle. So these two smokes together block off mid. You probably want to throw this one a little bit further right so you don't leave this gap on the side, but it's not overly important because these are going to run through here. They're going to push out mid. You're both going to nade towards white box if you have nades. The guy white box will now be down like at least half HP. You're going to push up here. You could maybe try and see if you can see over the smokes or whatever. Jump up here. One you're just going to shoot the vents out. It's really important you do this early. You could also shoot this vent out. Make sure you're doing both early so no one gets a signal of like when you're doing it to come in. So for now these guys are just going to hold mid. Gonna see if you get the pick here. They might have an AWP over here, so careful, don't get picked by it. And all they're gonna do is just wait around here, hold mid. You can see over at highway, you can see a little bit of checkers, but you want to make sure you're not dying from here, because these are gonna help with the B take. They're gonna basically help secure checkers by pushing through vents. So for now, them two players are gonna sit there. Now, your fourth player, he's again gonna have a rifle. He's going to go over to here. He's going to run towards B. He's going to be playing this position alone. He's just going to hold sort of this angle right here. Don't go too far. If they've got an AWP, you get killed. Just hold here. Now, quite often you get smoked off. So if they smoke you off, feel free to cross. Feel free to get into toxic. You can hold maybe here. You just basically want to hold this area. Make sure there's no CTs pushing. Make sure you secured the area sort of. Now, fifth player, he has a choice. This can be based on what the CTs have been doing. So, if they've been getting aggressive towards A, he'll go towards A and he's going to play squeaky. He's going to hold, say, like back here. It's important he doesn't push close, he wants to hold here so that if the AWPer spots someone, he can straight come out and help him. So, he plays here. If not, and if they've been pushing, say, mid, you should be fine mid, you've got two players already there. If they've been pushing B, he's going to go and support the B player. This is probably what I'd do. I'd probably support the B player because this AWPer over here, he's not going to be holding here for long because of the fact they can push through squeaky. If he's here alone, he's going to just hold here until he feels like it's been enough time that he should probably now fall back. He's going to check here, and he's going to fall back to probably here. Just hold from here and stop any pushes, or you could hold from like this corner, hold from like somewhere in here. Basically he's going to stop people pushing here. Now the fifth guy, obviously if he goes over here and helps out the guy B, it means you could push up to here a lot easier. It means you got two people in place already taking B. It means you could have someone push up to here and just listen, see what you've got going on in B site. This fifth guy sort of has a bit of freedom, but just see what the CTs have been doing, see what you think you should be doing. So, let's say the round goes as nobody's died. Let's just say nobody's died at all, and like on either team, and you now want to take B. You want to run the execute. So what you're going to do? The two mid players are going to push into the vents. Whoops. You're going to have one sort of sitting maybe in a corner like this. You're just going to hold here. You're going to have the other guy next to him. You want to make sure you can't get picked from white box. So these two are going to hold in there. Obviously the two B players are going to get ready to push into B, and you're going to have the guy from A, he's going to wrap round and also join up with these. So if they've smoked you off, and normally CTs for some reason like to throw a smoke that lands here. This smoke's terrible if you're a CT, because this is literally the smoke that the Ts would want to throw. You want to be smoking like to here really if you're a CT. So on the off chance that the CTs have through this one, you can just push up and do the rest of it. You want to check behind here, and now one of the guys from vents, if you haven't cleared this box, if you haven't had eyes in it long enough to be convinced there's nobody behind, one of you might want to throw a molly there. Just make sure you clear checkers, make sure you know there's nobody in there, and you want to have basically your players pushed up. You want to have a guy in checkers, so probably you'd leave one in vents just to keep an eye on mid, and maybe listen behind you, and you'd push one out of vents and you'd push through. He might just push up to here, let's say, and sort of be ready from here. So now your other three players are going to be, after they've assisted taking checkers, once, say if the CTs haven't through this smoke, you can throw this one. So you're going to line up like the edge of this with the edge of that, in like the third line, run and throw. Should bounce right in the middle, or roughly right in the middle. This will let you cross, let you do all that good stuff we just talked about. So once you've got your guy in checkers, you've got your guy in vents, other three guys are coming over here. Now this throw here, make sure you don't shoot out the window, because this throw requires the molly to hit the window. So he's going to push into this corner, and you're going to aim at this corner right here, and you're going to throw your molotov. Now I'm only going to show this once, because obviously then the window's broke, so pay attention. Aim at this corner, you throw, really simple, and it hits the back of sight. It also spreads to this corner, it spreads all over that, behind that box, as you can see. So that's the first molotov you're going to throw. This guy is also going to throw smoke from the exact same spot. You're going to aim at this dot right here and throw. Really simple smoke again. Bounces off here, smoke CT. Okay, so once that smoke and molotov have been thrown, or well, as soon as the molotov's been thrown, actually you'll throw this next one in sync with it. Obviously you need this guy to throw his molotov first, because he needs to hit the window to get it to fall right. But immediately after that molotov's been thrown, you want to throw this one. So the next guy, say player 2, he's going to be against this eye, aiming at the top left of this rectangle right here, and just throw. This should go towards headshot. It should spread all over this part of the site. It should also fall into headshot and clear that position. So now you've had a molotov there, you've had a molotov, whoops, you've had a molotov down here. So back of sight's all on fire, this sight's all on fire, headshot's on fire, just got this position down here. So this is what the guy in checkers is for. He's gonna, as soon as their molotovs are going down, there's gonna be panic on site, people are gonna be running, people are not gonna be able to hit you properly, so you can now cross over. You're gonna throw a molotov and just bounce it off this white box. This will deal with this position, so now everywhere on site should be on fire. Now, the third guy that was over here, he's gonna have pushed up. He's gonna hold close while, like, just before these molotovs are thrown, he's gonna hold close. As soon as they all go off, he's going to go here, molotov here. Obviously you can be killed like this, so if you don't want to throw it like this, there's other ways you can throw it, like bouncing off the wall. It doesn't go as deep, but it'll do the job. You could also, if you wanted, you could smoke up there instead. Basically just make sure you can't get killed from up there. Obviously CT is going to be smoked from the guy that threw the first molotov. So as soon as you've done these throws, you'll want to peek out, see if the guy headshots ran out yet. See if anyone on site ran off yet, because anybody on site has nowhere to hide. Everyone's going to have to abandon that site and just hope to survive. Obviously your goal now is to have a bit of target practice and shoot people as they come off. Now, as soon as all this goes down, this guy in vents, he's going to stay there the entire round. He's going to hold for people coming in, like rotating in through vents. He could hold, say, this angle here. He's just going to stop anyone pushing up mid, anyone pushing behind over there. You can also hear if he wants people coming behind B. The guy in checkers, he's going to help push into sight. The guy that threw this molotov and smoke, he's going to help push into sight. Now, one of the guys from here, depending on how the sight take's going, you could have him push up with the bomb and obviously you'll help take sight as 3 people. Or you could leave the 2 players that through these, you could put one of them, say he could come close to here and just help shoot in. And then he's going to stay, like, I don't know, maybe you'd set up for post plant here, or you know, like any of your post plant positions you want to take. You're going to leave a guy in toxic, you could help kill people from behind. Basically, taking sight shouldn't lead to any deaths when you're using all these molotovs and all these throws. And you should have a lot of utility left over. You'll notice we haven't used any flashes, any HEs, we've only used like 2 smokes. Sorry, 4 smokes because we used the 2 mid. So you could re-smoke CT a little later in the round. The guy who has it left. You can also use all your HEs onto site when the molotovs go down. There's lots of different stuff you could do to basically help get a site, to help hold site. Once you've done all this, obviously you're going to be running in with a bomb. If Heaven's smoked and if CT's still smoked, I would strongly recommend planting like somewhere out here, really in the open. Like, say you could plant like this corner, or you could plant somewhere over here, just somewhere where checkers can see it, and then you don't need to have people playing site. Obviously you're going to want to have people playing site, you'll want to have a guy here, you might want to have a guy here. You'll keep a guy in checkers, you're going to have the guy in vent, and you'll keep a guy over toxic, something like that. That should probably be your 5-man setup. You'd be lucky if you've kept 5 alive by now, but it's definitely possible with this strat. So hopefully it works out for you. Other than that, just play the post plant as you normally would. Pick CTs when they're pushing in. Should be nice and easy for you. It should be a pretty simple, straightforward round. And you'll notice we haven't really took any risks. Like, this guy didn't push, he just held. You had the mid players, they did push, but they had smokes, so they only pushed up to here. This is probably the most dangerous position because you've got like an AWP in here, you probably might have an AWP here or a rifle here. Like, this is the spot where once you've 3 HEs over there, if you haven't killed anyone, you're probably going to need flashes to be able to get into vents safely. There's lots of different flashes you can throw. Obviously, throw something better than that. Bounce them off walls behind you or to the left of you or whatever. But yeah, you'll notice we didn't take risks. It was just a simple execute. And if you get this down, if you nail all the timings and stuff, this should be really effective. I did make a Pugstrats video on this, but obviously the Pugstrats one, with it only being 2 or 3 players needed, wasn't quite as good. This one obviously needing 5 players is the downside, but the execute is way better. And I've showed the full round on this video, so hopefully this helps. So yeah, leave a comment below, like if you enjoyed it, and hopefully you liked it, and thanks for watching.